Good afternoon. King Charles and the Prince of Wales have been meeting some of the thousands of people queuing for many hours to pay their respects to the Queen at Westminster Hall. His Majesty thanked them for their patience, while Prince William told one well-wisher, "It means an awful lot you're here." Later this evening, Prince William will be joined by his brother Prince Harry and the Queen's other grandchildren for a vigil at the lying-in state. Sam Holder reports.
They'd been queuing through the night to see the Queen. They ended up with a visit from the new king. I hope you didn't get too frozen last night, His Majesty asked some of those waiting, in the knowledge they'd stood and braved temperatures of 7 degrees. Those lucky enough to find themselves queuing in this stretch by Lambeth Bridge, given a chance to meet both King and the new Prince of Wales.
How were you last night? You wrapped up nice and warm? You look like you're dressed well, you've got a rucksack on, you've read the manual.
The schedule for the royal family since Her Majesty's death has been almost non-stop. But it was clear this moment, a chance to speak to those who've given up their time and comfort to pay their respects, was genuinely appreciated. Those here still hours from their destination, Westminster Hall. Leaders from both sides of the globe have now begun to arrive. The Prime Ministers of Canada and Australia paying their respects to their sovereign. And British politicians past and present. Foreign Secretary James Cleverly, former Deputy Prime Minister Michael Heseltine. Before speaking with the queuing crowds, King Charles visited those tasked with ensuring Monday's events remain safe and secure. It will be the Metropolitan Police's biggest ever operation. Did you get any sleep? The King asked. A little bit. I know the feeling, was his response. For all the engagements His Majesty has had to attend over the past 9 days, however tired the King may be, there has been a determined effort to speak to as many who've come out in support as possible. Sam Holder, ITV News.
Well, Lizzie Robinson is in Westminster. Tonight, the Queen's grandchildren will pay their own tribute. Lizzie, what can we expect to see there?
Yes, Geraint. This evening, the Queen's 8 grandchildren will come together to stand vigil beside her coffin at Westminster Hall, and they were all understandably keen to pay their own personal respects to their late grandmother and are being given the opportunity to do so at the invitation of the King. And we'll see the Prince of Wales standing at the head of the coffin and the Duke of Sussex at the foot. And for this moment, unlike other ceremonial events we have seen, the Duke of Sussex, who is now a non-working royal, will be given the opportunity to wear his uniform, and that comes specifically at the request of the King. And he'll be joined by his brother, the Prince of Wales, who will also be in uniform, and his cousins, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, Zara Tindall, Peter Phillips, Lady Louise and Viscount Severn, and we expect them to stand vigil beside the coffin for around 15 minutes.
Lizzie Robinson in Westminster, many thanks. And police say a man was arrested last night after he left the queue of mourners and approached the Queen's coffin inside Westminster Hall. It took place around 10 p.m. He was detained by officers from the Metropolitan Police Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command. The live video feed of the lying-in state cut away for a brief period during the disturbance. Rehearsals have been taking place in Windsor for the procession of the Queen's cortege through the town following Monday's funeral. Early this morning, the troops marched along the route that Her Majesty's coffin will take to a service at St George's Chapel. From Windsor, Ian Woods reports.
On Monday, they'll be watched by millions of people around the world. But only a handful of spectators saw this funeral rehearsal, which took place while Windsor slept. The parade began shortly before 4 a.m. It was a crisp, cloudless, starlit night. A few hundred yards from the castle where Queen Elizabeth II will be laid to rest, Hundreds of soldiers, sailors and Royal Air Force personnel practiced the procession, which will accompany her home for a final time. Members of the Coldstream Guards will surround the hearse as it nears the end of its journey from London, following the funeral service in Westminster Abbey. Dawn was breaking as they returned to barracks, and their commanding officer spoke of the honour of their task.
I've been very lucky to have met the Queen a couple of times, and to be able to pay tribute to her, taking part in this parade, being so up close and personal as the hearse drives past. It's just a huge honour.
Floodlights cast long shadows on Windsor's long walk, and heads were bowed, as they will be throughout the country on Monday. And all the while, officers scrutinised, looking for tiny flaws which need to be corrected.
There must be nerves involved, surely, when it comes to the big day.
Yeah, so normally on the practices with things like this, it's normally okay. But then obviously when it gets to the big day, you still get the nerves when all the crowds are out and everyone's looking at you and all the eyes are on you.
1,000 military personnel will be involved in the Windsor procession. 3 times that number will be needed in London. None of them will want to put a foot wrong. Their mission, the perfect finale for our longest monarch's reign. Ian Woods, ITV News.
And that is it for now. Charlene will be here with an extended evening news, including coverage of that vigil by the Queen's grandchildren. Join her for that at 5:30. Until then, enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.